We are actually in Melbourne right now for the success trip. It's 11 a.m. in Singapore, but it's 9 a.m. in Melbourne. But I prepared for a really, really great session this morning by inviting Khoo Swee Chiow here, okay, to talk to us. Okay, so let me just share my screen. Okay, so we're talking about this man, okay, whose motto is Dare to Dream. So for those of you who don't know him, because he's such a humble person, you see him climbing just Bukit Timah Hill where everyone is climbing. But let me introduce him to you. So Swee Chiow first climbed Mount Everest in 1998. And in 2002, just 4 years later, became the first Southeast Asian and fourth person in the world to complete the Adventure Grand Slam. That is, skied across the South Pole, the North Pole, and then did the 7 summits. Okay, he has skied to the North and South Pole, cycled 8,000 kilometers from Singapore to Beijing, swam 40 kilometers across the Malacca Strait, kayaked over 3,000 kilometers across the Philippines, rollerbladed 6,000 kilometers from Hanoi to Singapore, and has held 2 Guinness World Records. In 2012, Swee Chiow finally climbed K2, which at that time was considered to be the toughest and most dangerous mountain in the world. In 2019, he completed his 200th peak, and I was there with him. So this is our photo. Okay, June 2019 at Berimbun. Okay, so there's a whole group of us here. You can see if you said that's Swee Chiow, that's me, that's Pek Lin. Even Pek Lin was there. Okay. So far he has climbed, so he's attempting to summit all the 14 8,000 meter peaks in the world. And so far he has successfully climbed 8 of these 8,000 meter peaks. Now, 2 weeks ago, Swee Chiow returned from his first attempt to summit Annapurna, which is the 10th highest mountain in the world at 8,091 meters. But it's now known as the most difficult and dangerous 8,000 meter mountain. For decades, it held the highest fatality-to-summit rate of all the principal 8,000 summits. So I want to, I talked to Swee Chiow, okay, and so I'm, this is my interview with my mentor. Okay, Swee Chiow, thank you for coming here. You climbed your first 8,000 meter peak, Mount Everest, in 1998 when you were, 33 years old? Okay, yeah. Single, 33 years old. So you are now 58 years old. 58, coming to 59. Okay, married with 2 grown-up children and still climbing these ultimate peaks. So I have got a few questions for you. The first question is, what motivates you to do this, even today? You're nearly 60. What motivates you to do this kind of stuff today?
I think it's very simple. I still enjoy, climbing mountains, and the 8,000 meter represent a very special group of mountains, the highest. And so I'm 58 now, so not much time left. So I better climb while I still can. It's very simple motivation. So one day, there will come a day where my legs will give way, and who knows what I'm going to do. Yeah. So I think we gotta have a sense of urgency in our life to go do the things that we want to do, go chase the dreams that we have, and set a high goal and go try it. Yeah.
Okay, great. So okay, I mean, we climb just for exercise. Okay, that's why I'm wearing this mountain tourist T-shirt. Okay, we go there more for the R&R after the climb. Yours is a serious climb where there's big risk. There's people have sponsored you, which is just a responsibility, I'm sure. So how do you feel before such a trip?
Always this sense of anticipation, an element of anxiety, facing the unknown, especially if the mountain is, if it's a mountain that I have not climbed before, like this trip, Annapurna. So basically, I just read up as much as I can. Sometimes even talk to friends who have climbed it. Yeah. Prepare as much as you can, and then focus on your training, my Bukit Timah sessions, my rock climbing sessions. That's it. There's no magic in preparation. Just got to focus on what you need to do. As you control the elements that you can, and the elements that you cannot control. You try not to worry about it too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just talk a bit more about the feelings.
It's a bit. This trip was a bit anxious for me because Annapurna being the number one highest fatality rate, among the 8,000 meters. So I went with a very realistic expectation. If I don't summit, it's okay as long as I come back alive. That's more important. It's like another adventure, and once I was there, it truly was a very awesome mountain, very scary mountain. Yeah.
Okay. Now, we had lunch with you, and some of you, because you are, you're leaving for Nepal again. So tell us about your latest attempt to summit Annapurna, where some friend died, a very, very good friend died. So just tell us about that.
My good friend Noel is an Irish guy from Ireland, and we've climbed many mountains together, many 8,000 meters. We are like buddies. Unfortunately, this trip he I would say misjudged his health condition. So at Camp 4, I was sharing a tent with him, but unfortunately, he was actually coughing quite badly. I would say he has some pulmonary edema, but very experienced guy climber. So yeah, he has climbed Everest 10 times. So a very experienced guy, but unfortunately, this time he didn't make it back. He came back from the summit, and he had very fatigued condition, and he basically passed away in his sleep peacefully. Thankfully, yeah. So I came back, of course, feeling very sad, losing a friend, and this is the second friend that I lost on Annapurna. So Annapurna is really a killer mountain. Yeah.
Yeah. What about your own attempt?
Yeah, I started from Camp 4, and right away something was not right. I didn't feel 100%, and I had no power in my legs for some reason. No strength at all. I was struggling from the start. So after 1.5 hours, I decided to turn back because it's a long way to the summit and a long way back. Easily 20 hours, a round trip. So if I am struggling from the start, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this climb safely. And at the back of my mind, I knew I don't want to be, to be rescued. Yeah, and I don't want to get people around me, my Sherpa, my friends, into having to rescue me. So I basically turned around after 1.5 hours.
There was another friend of yours, an Indian, another climber, an Indian lady that was assumed dead, isn't it, on the way down?
Yeah, there were two cases. One Indian lady, I think she went unconscious, and the Sherpa thought she was dead. So they left her up there. They came down, and then the next day the helicopter went up and found her still alive. Yeah, amazingly. So she's okay. I think she suffered some frostbite, but very well conditioned. Anurag is the other friend of mine. He accidentally fell into a crevasse, and he was in the crevasse for 3 days before the rescue team could reach him. Right now, even as we speak, he's still in a critical condition in the Kathmandu hospital in ICU. on ventilator, but his family told me he's improving. So let's pray for him and hope for the best. Yeah.
You know, those of us who don't climb mountains or mountains like this, we always imagine the finish line as something to just, you know, do or die. We reach the finish line, except the finish line is not the summit, isn't it? The finish line is back base camp.
You are right, absolutely. Yeah, when you climb a mountain, you getting to the summit is just half the job, you know, halfway, and you have to make sure you can come back alive. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, this is a lot of respect for you and, you know, the judgment that is required. So how do you handle it when you don't summit? Because we go through a lot of things in life where we put in a lot of effort. It's not that you don't put in effort to you put in months of training, don't talk about years behind it. You know, how do you feel? How do you handle when you don't summit?
I think I've been climbing mountain for more than 20 years, you know, 30 years. So I view the summit as something that is icing on the cake, right? Most important now is to come back alive and well, you know, don't get any serious frostbite or so. That to me is a very clear choice, you know, and to me that is a very clear perspective of, you know, putting the summit goal into perspective. Yeah, if you don't get to the top, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, but if you don't come back, you know, that's a big problem. Or if you come back with serious injury, you know, the rest of your life will change drastically, you know, and you will put burden on people around you, your family, your loved one, your friends. So to me, that is a very clear perspective that I have there. And that's also because I've been climbing for many years. For, you know, younger climbers, you may not have that perspective. You may not have that experience to turn around. You know, you may have what we call a summit fever. You know, do or die, you want to get to the top. And that's where a lot of people get into trouble. Yeah.
So how do you avoid getting summit fever?
Well, you climb enough mountains, you know that you know, life is precious, and you put things into perspective. Yeah, it's not the end of the world, like I said. You know, life continues, and you should always have this view, you know, at the back of your mind that it's better to come back alive and to try again. Yeah, and to, you know, improve your plan, your strategy, your skills, whatever it is, and try again.
People think that when you have a Sherpa, everything is fine, but actually it really depends on you, isn't it? You can't depend on your Sherpa.
Yeah, 8,000 meter peak is so extreme, you know. It's really up to you and the Sherpa to work together, but you are making the decision for your life alone, basically. Yeah, your Sherpa is there to support you, and hopefully he's technical and he's strong enough to you know, to bring you down if there's an emergency. But in the first place, we should not, you know, get into an emergency situation. Yeah.
Yeah, I always think you know, that there's this pressure when you've got a sponsor there. They're okay about this, isn't it, sponsors?
Yeah, my sponsor this time is the North Face, the famous brand, and I think throughout my years of sponsorships, I you know, inform my sponsors before we sign the deal. I inform them the risk, and most of all, I tell them that the success is never guaranteed. Yeah, getting to the summit is never guaranteed. It is something that I cannot put into the contract. Yeah. So yeah, they understand. Yeah, and my sponsors so far, thankfully, they're all very understanding. Yeah, and they all know the great risk that I take, even this time. Yeah, Annapurna. Yeah. So yeah, that's very important. The understanding between and the trust between you and the sponsor. Yeah.
Well, certainly, you know, for you as a friend and someone who continues to guide and inspire us to dream, we want you around for the rest of your life, you know. That's for sure, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, James, we still got lots of mountains to climb.
Or lots of or barbecues to to enjoy. Okay, so let me ask you one last question. Okay.
Yeah.
So from all your experience, can you share some life lessons for us who are more down to earth folks? You know, I mean, we're not attempting 8,000 or even 7,000 meter peaks. So have you got some life lessons for us who are more down to earth, including those who are past the physical prime? You know, you have many people climbing or in your group who are in their 60s and 70s and soon will be 80s. So can you share some life lessons?
Yeah, sure. I think as what they say, the 60s is the new 40, yeah, or whatever. Yeah, I think science and technology and medical advancement has improved our life quality tremendously. Yeah, and I think we have to take advantage of that. And what I mean is, even though you may not be able to climb 8,000 meters, but there are many other places that's beautiful, or many other mountains that is lower but very beautiful to climb and to explore. So even if I don't climb 8,000 meters, I'll be very busy, exploring every corner of the world and bringing people to appreciate Mother Nature, to be in touch with Mother Nature, because we live in a concrete society, and I feel strongly that we are lacking this healing from Mother Nature. So I made it my mission for the rest of my life to continue connecting people to the great outdoors. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So you've inspired us by reaching out and having more people participate rather than be part of an exclusive crowd. And I think that's such a contribution to people, not just to to the elite climbers, but really to everyone. I see so many people enjoying climbing, and even now you're doing sports climbing and
rock climbing. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, thank you, Swee Chiow. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being an encourager. And when we do our posts, I always put "Dare to Dream," because that's something we do in everything in our lives. Okay, so bye. Thank you everyone for joining us.